Hello and welcome to another episode of Dan Cast Fancast. I have a cold, so I wanted to be on camera as little as possible today, so please forgive me. Today I'll be unboxing a Displays to Go magazine spinner rack, which I'm utilizing as a comic spinner. On my hunt for a classic comic spinner, I discovered that a new spinner costs between $300 and $350. This one of which, pictured from Diamond Comics, will be hitting comic shops in a few days, on February 1st of this year. It's intended for retailers, and vintage comic book spinners run $600 on up. So I began entering in new search terms to find a $130 magazine spinner, including shipping, from Displays to Go, which arrived from FedEx merely days after I ordered it. This shipment came in two separate boxes. This first box included the base and other small plastic parts. And the large box below consisted of the metal pieces, such as the rack, two poles, and a sign holder. The wire rack came bubble wrapped, and because this rack is intended for magazines, the wire holders measure 8.5 inches wide by 11 inches deep, so it is a bit bigger than a comic or graphic novel. Now when I read the reviews for the spinner, every reviewer said beware the instructions are backwards for the bottom pole assembly. You will scratch the plastic base if you follow the instructions. Well, I had to see for myself, and I assembled it as it was shown rather than heeding the warnings, and sure enough the instructions are upside down in the diagram. Luckily, I was extra cautious and I didn't scratch anything. I ended up having to take it apart and reshooting it correctly. For time's sake, I did not include my disassembling then reassembling the rack. Now that the bottom pole is on correctly, I sat the rack on and then the top pole section. After the top pole was inserted, I added the sign holder, and I wanted to top it off with a metal sign I picked up from Hobby Lobby. Okay, so my spinner is looking kind of naked, so I wanted to fill it with some fine literature, and this was a disaster. I thought I would be cool and try to stop motion TV Land style cutscene, and I totally dropped all my comics on the floor. It was a mess and I was devastated. Anyway, I didn't even think about how my camera was still rolling that entire time I was cleaning up, and I didn't realize that the battery had died after I panned up the rack while I displayed the rack serving its purpose and actually spinning. Either way, I would give the spinner a 10 out of 10, because I can't really fault it for being larger than a comic book, considering it's meant for magazines. However, I placed that entire stack of comics I had on it, and it's only a quarter of the way filled. Alright, thanks for watching. Later this week I'll post my fan cast and announce last week's giveaway winner. If you haven't entered, there's still time. So be sure to leave a thumbs up and subscribe for more unboxings, giveaways, and fan casts.